Hi, it's Allison, and I'm on day 7 of Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot. Well, for me, it's only the third video, but the day 7 prompt. I'm going to try and maybe go back and backfill some of the ones that I missed. It's just been a hectic season. I'm going to try and get through this video quickly. I don't have a lot to say about it, and my two dogs we're in like day 6 or 7 of a really cold snap here in Ontario. Temperatures have been minus 30 Celsius, which is like minus 23 Fahrenheit or so. Really cold, and my dogs are going nuts, so they're playing with each other a lot, which is great, but it's noisy, so we'll try and get through this quickly. The prompt is their most worked decks of 2017, and while I did acquire a lot of decks in 2017, I didn't work with them all. There are some that I haven't worked with at all yet, just because of my own sort of level of confidence. So the first one, the one I work with by far the most, and it's probably not going to be any surprise to anyone, is the Centennial Rider-Waite Smith. I love it. I love this deck. I love this version of the deck. I've been through a lot of Rider-Waites. I started with the Radiant Rider-Waite, and I did like the coloring of that one, but it started to really bug me that the type at the bottom was not calligraphy. And I've learned that this is the calligraphy of the artist, of course, but printed, and I just didn't love the feel of that. And then I got the Universal, and that was a really nice one. It did have the calligraphy. I ended up giving that to a friend of mine who really liked it and who was interested in tarot and wanted to start. And because at that point I had purchased this Centennial Rider-Waite Smith, I was happy to give her a copy of it. And I like the muted tones and the sepia. I love the backs of this one too. I think they're really lovely. It's a classic. What can I say? And this is where all my confidence was at the beginning of the year with understanding and interpreting these particular images. So no surprise there. The other one that I worked with a lot near the end of the year, I fell in love with this deck. Sorry, I keep knocking my computer. I fell in love with it as soon as I saw images of it online. I wasn't going to buy it because I was trying to curtail my deck buying, but then I found it at Value Village for $2.99. The box is a shambles. Some of the cards have ink blots on them, on the backs. I don't know if I can find one now because I shuffled them. Now that I've spoken about it, I will not be able to... Oh, there's an example of one. It's the Morgan Greer, and you can see there's an ink stain on it. There was an ink stain on the box. The faces of the cards don't have anything. But initially, I wasn't as drawn to work with this one because it was so... I love the images. I love them so much. I think this is a beautiful deck. People talk a lot about the 70s aesthetic of this deck, but I feel like it's timeless. I love the colors, although because this is an older deck and it's used, you can see that it's quite faded. Well, actually the fading doesn't really show up on the camera now that I look at it that way. But when I hold it up, I've been to stores and looked through brand new Morgan Greers, and I love that Eight of Swords. I can see that the colors are much, much more subdued in my version of the deck. But I'm never one to pass up a bargain, and I don't mind if my decks have been pre-owned. I actually quite like it. Oh, darn, now of course we're upside down. Learning a little bit every day about making videos. So again, this is not new to anybody. The other reason I didn't use it until the end of the year was I felt a little uncomfortable with how close up everything was, where it wasn't as scenic. I didn't really know necessarily the pips well enough to be able to read them without the full scene being played out, but now I do. And something just at the end of the year really clicked with this deck with me, even though I'd always loved it and I knew I wanted to have it and read with it eventually. It just really worked for me, and I'm not coming to it, so I'm going to try and find... The Hermit card is one of my favorite cards in any deck, and it's one of my favorite cards in this particular deck. And it's a true Hermit because whenever I go to look for it, I can never find it. Oh, there it is, on the very bottom. How much can you say about a Hermit other than it's on the very bottom? Oh, I just love it so much. And all of a sudden, I think I just acquired enough knowledge to be able to use a more facey close-up deck than I had used previously. So I really love those two. They're my most work deck. They're not that out of the ordinary. It's nothing really special there, but they really were confidence builders for me. And if I'm ever reading for friends, which I do from time to time, just sort of as a lark, I don't really do it very much. And I don't intend to pursue it really very much more than that at this point in my life anyway. But they're the ones I go to because I'm confident that I'll be able to get meanings and understandings from those two decks. So those were my two. Have a great day.